Yeah, man, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I got Mike from the UK. Uh, why don't you tell us, what's your YouTube channel?
Transparent Pill.
Transparent Pill, that's his YouTube channel. And he's got a little situation and he's going to tell us about it. It's got some similarities to mine, but without further delay, I'm just going to let him tell his thing. So what's going on, Mike?
Yeah, so I'm 19 from the UK, and about a few months back, I was looking into the Bible and everything. I found out that, there's a lot of, untapped knowledge in the Bible. And the more I was getting into it, the more I was being telepathically attacked. At the time, I didn't know what it was, but what had happened was it was through street theatre. So I would go to work, and at the time, I was still on the ganja, I was still on the marijuana. So I didn't know what was happening. So it was easy to play mental tricks through that. Obviously, with hallucinogenics, it automatically already opens your third eye. So that plus like automated telepathy, like they could do all types of stuff to you. So that happened a few times. I think twice. Had a breakdown because I was still confused on what was going on. And the thing is, with street theatre, they do certain actions where it's indirect and kind of direct, so you don't know what's happening. But like with me, I was pretty sure that somebody, said something to me or said something to aggravate me, something from my past life, which they could not even know about. So I would go up to them, and then obviously they'll make me think like I'm the crazy one, innit? So yeah, and it's been going on ever since. It had a trickling down effect. I thought it was just people from my work, but then it went from people who I live around with, like neighbors, to my family and my closest friends. And yeah.
So with the telepathy, are you experiencing that all day, every day, just out loud in general?
All day, every day, 24/7. Even when I go to sleep, they have somehow found a way to open astral projection in my dreams. So right. Dreams is the astral projection wavelength. So even with the normal person not knowing, they're still astral projecting, because that's just the plane when you dream. And there's been a lot of like demonic attacks through that as well. What I was trying to explain earlier is like they used succubus and incubus spirits, because at the time when I was still learning about them, I would always constantly hear their chatter, and I was actually good at able to distinguishing like what they were lying about and what they were telling the truth about.
Right.
But for the most part, yeah, they play mental tricks. Obviously, they push a lot of like sinful acts into my head and push lots of like thoughts which I don't want in my head, because it still trickles down to spiritual attachment. And I feel that's why they're attacking you as well, because you know the truth about the Bible, and then they want you to be a part of their agenda. And if you're not, then you're just going to get attacked 24/7. Wow. And I came to a discovery about a few months back that the only way for them to leave you alone and literally thwart all the frequency is through meditation. But not only meditation, but synced meditation with the Most High. So when you breathe in, you say praise, and when you breathe out, you say Yahweh. Can you hear them right now? Are they broadcasting to you right now?
Right now, they're paying attention more. They're more paying attention to what we got going on than trying to gain my attention. They know they're not going to get my attention right now because I'm busy doing something, and so they're paying attention to that. But as soon as I have a minute of downtime, it's let's see if we can grab his attention and work some kind of scheme for for this live stream that they have going on, and any chance they get to try to gain my attention for any reason, they will. But if I'm a lot of times, and that's what I do a lot of times, is try to stay really busy. Because as soon as I don't have something going on, then they take that as an opportunity, as this is a time we can start to harass him. So, but being as that targeted people, and they know this is something that we're going to put out public on YouTube, and there's a strong possibility that if you've got people gang stalking you, then the people that are I'm dealing with, they've probably linked up and saying, hey, look at this, look at what we got here. So but yeah, they're probably not gonna do much to me while we got this going on.
Okay, well, they're literally attacking me from all over the place right now, and I see very odd stuff like they do a lot of imagery around here in the UK. They do a lot of demonic markings at train stations, all the sorts, so they make sure that somehow I see it and then I try to react from it. Like just up in that building, I can see smoke and I can see a light which just flashed. And I saw literally a drone flying past as I was getting ready for this live stream.
Right.
And so on my channel, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually acquire all the evidence, and then I'm gonna put all up in one compilation, so it comes more of a clearer message. Because I know especially with this subject, if you don't have the evidence for it, they make you look like it's crazy. But everyone knows what's actually going on.
Right. I have the experience to know exactly what you mean. Looks like I lost the video.
Hold on.
Oh, it's paused. Okay, there we go. So when I first started my channel, before I did YouTube, I was doing some other things, more like kind of like a podcast where I was talking on audio only. But once I started YouTube, I went through a phase for a while where when I would post things, most of the people that were having anything to say were making fun and talking trash. But over time, though, you'll find the support because this is happening to a lot of people. And you're in the UK, and I've talked to a lot of people from the UK. And maybe I could share some of those people with you after the interview. But I've talked to a lot of people in the UK. This is not just something that's over here in the US. It's all around. I've talked to people in Australia and Canada and pretty much most of the continents around. This is going on worldwide.
Yeah, it's definitely worldwide. It's like the hidden agenda, and I think they're really pushing it the most because they know it's the end days, and a lot of things are going to happen. There's obviously biblical prophecy. So yeah, what I was going to say was basically the only actual proven way to stop these demonic attacks is through meditation. And that's why as you can see, I kind of twitch a bit because I've recently contracted electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome, but which is a good thing because I'm actually deflecting all these bad frequencies from me. And I'm telling you, if you try it, if you actually try it, then you'll get instant results straight away, because what you're doing is you're actually meditating to the Most High, and the Most High knows exactly what's going on, and He gives you that barrier and protection of these 5G frequencies, because at the end of the day, technology is witchcraft. So yeah, they know what they're doing, and I'm telling you, when you started from today, right now, you may still be able to hear them, but they'll literally get pissed. They'll get so angry because they can't reach you anymore. They can't hurt you anymore because yeah, I know it's
Mine stay
crazy.
angry with
And
me. I got something for them all the time, so they stay pretty angry with
yeah,
me. Yeah.
oh yeah, okay, that's good. That's good. But yeah, I mean, what I tried to do as well was lower my energy as well. So I try to keep as neutral as possible, because what I found out is they actually gain a lot of energy from if you interact with them, and if you get angry and over emotional with them. That's what was happening in the first couple of stages. Because obviously, they want you to go crazy, because it's like a type of spiritual attachment, and then they grab a bit of energy from that, and then they do whatever they want with it. They keep it for themselves, because spiritually they're empty. Yeah, so they
They
need
are.
that kind of energy to sustain their life.
Yeah, I can agree with that one. I can definitely agree
Yeah.
with that one. So how long have you been experiencing this?
I've been in this for about, I would say, 6 months to a year.
Okay, and so you've already decided to come out public and start a channel talking about all of this. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
so have you met resistance from that?
yeah. I mean, actually, I'm pretty sure. I mean, you know how they are when you're doing stuff, and then they
Yeah.
have the little whispers in their back, like trying to get something out of you. But for the most part, they said that they would shadow ban my channel, which is okay for the most part. Like, I haven't got that much content
Well, who
yet
said that?
already.
The gang stalkers?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
gang stalkers.
Okay.
So it's fine, really. Like, luckily, I do know how to market a bit, so I'm just waiting until I've got everything, and then I'll actually push it at a time which is best for me. But for now, it's really just everyday meditation. Oh, yeah, cha. Yeah, there you go. Like, it's gone so bad that, like, I can actually see sometimes the spirits around, just using EHS just to fly about all around the area. And I've even got, videographic evidence, because I found out it wasn't even that hard to, catch frequency. Because normally when you're in like a night like this, if you've got a light like that and you just surveil the surroundings, all that feedback, it's not feedback from the camera. It's literally recording frequency on the outside world.
Right. I noticed that a lot of people post pictures, and when I'm scrolling through and I see people's stories and things like that on Facebook and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
a, a lot of times, and this is not 1997 where cameras are not any good, and we have good
Yeah,
cameras and stuff now. So when I see these pictures that just look real fuzzy, and I can tell that that's just a lot of broadcast and waves in those photographs, and I believe
that's it.
that if we were to look into something like full spectrum photography and some type of equipment, and they're expensive. The cameras are expensive, but
Yeah,
things that can see beyond the visible spectrum. Because a camera, in general, your camera and mine, they're designed to photograph the visual spectrum based on the human eye. So the same, because
yeah,
there's light outside of the visible spectrum, like infrared and ultraviolet and things like that, where that light can be seen with the right type of equipment or the right type of camera. But
yeah,
cameras and human eyes are made to see within a certain range. So outside of that range, you would be able to see a lot of things going on that you couldn't
yeah,
normally see. But some of us can kind of see that because everybody's range isn't exactly the same.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Yeah. So, did they, is it scary to deal with?
At the time, it was very scary because I didn't really know what I was dealing with. You know, all I saw was, you know, all I could feel was, you know, really sharp attacks on my genitals, or like everywhere, my face, my
Right.
hair, you
I get
know,
the same thing.
my legs, anywhere, you name it. And once I started to, you know, understand, oh, I was reading a Bible passage, and then this would happen. I was praying to Yahweh, and then this was happening. So I was like, and then I really just kind of just just literally put down a list of what happened through the stages of my life and why this was happening. And you know, I became a self-proclaimed Judite, and you know, I'm literally one of the most hated people in London. I would say maybe the whole UK, because that's the thing. The people who gang stalk, what I found out in the UK is like it's they all know about each other, so it's like one big social network.
Exactly. It definitely
Yeah. So
is.
even
They all communicate. They all can
yeah,
communicate with each other through the same places where they access this neural monitoring broadcast stuff. Um, well, let me ask you:
sure.
the first time you heard somebody talking to you that wasn't physically around you, because I mean, like for me, when this first started happening, you know, I'm like trying to figure out how is this happening, and I was trying to make sense of it, and I was looking around for like where's this coming from, where's the hidden speakers, or
Mm,
you know, and even when I would be out in public, I would think like they could hack into electronic devices to talk to me through that, but really none of that's required. So it's very bizarre. How was that for you in the beginning?
yeah, it was very odd, but at the same time, it was funny because like whenever somebody said something, I always had that natural inkling of knowing who it was, because when they said it, I could literally hear the space of where the frequency was coming from, because that's the somehow, I do not know how, I am able to hear not only the telepathic, like, you know, frequencies around me, but I can hear, because they have like a hive system. So like when you're in a small space, they'll have few people around you, and then they have, you know, their own little tactics. They'll stop for an hour, and then they'll start attacking you for a good 30 more minutes. Then they'll leave it, and you know, they keep doing that. But outside of that, like let's just say a 10-mile radius in another city, they're literally planning on what to do to you next. Because because like there's not a lot of us around, let's be honest, most of them are there. So yeah, they literally plan on what to do, and it's like that video of where you were recording that the cars were, you know, going side by side, and they were screaming your name, Kevin. It's like that. They all do it like in a synchronized way. It's like a beehive. It's crazy. Yeah.
It
And when I
is like
found out first, at first I was like, whoa, it's a marvel to look at. But then I found out that, you know, every time I listen to them, I'm sinning, because, you know, telepathy and alchemy is a sin. But unfortunately, that's what the government has forced, you know,
it's forced.
normal people like us
You don't have a
to, you
choice.
know,
If you
yeah,
had a
exactly.
choice to turn it off, I'm sure you probably would, because you don't have a
Yeah.
choice. Do you think that they're Luciferians or
But
Satanistic?
without a doubt, man, I've literally, every time, um, the thing is with me, every time I try to when I look at the phone or to check the time, they always make sure that it's always either at like a time which is at 6, or a time which is at 8. And then every time when I see it, they always shout, "Oh, think about 666," and that's the thing which they always still get me at, because I still panic, because you know I don't want to be thinking about that, and they always say, "Oh, hell this, hell Lucifer," all of that stuff. Yeah, just trying to, you know, put. That's what they
Right.
do. Like they try to put, you know, bad thoughts into your head, and then obviously that taints your soul, because there's a body soul dualism. So you know that's one of the things which kind of panics me out. But for the most part, yeah, it's okay. I've been dealing with it all right. But what I found out as well is like really everything is connected. You know, they use chemtrails against us. You know, they literally throwing nanoparticles in the air, which aids them to send the frequency faster and more efficient.
Well, there's a lot of different theories out there about it. I believe that it is, from my experience, I believe that it's a satellite broadcast, and I
Mm-hmm.
believe that that's pretty much all it is. And the people that I was dealing with, they were uh, in the beginning, they would try to pretend like they were demons and that they were
Mm-hmm.
spirits and they could leave their body and all of these things. And over time,
Mm-hmm.
I found out a lot of the people that were involved and how they do a lot of these things. And they
Mm-hmm.
take it as a joke. They really take it as a joke and think that they can joke around about these type of things. But
Yeah,
in reality,
exactly.
it is very spiritual. And I believe that
Yeah.
even if they think that they're joking around saying that things about Satan or Lucifer, I think that ultimately they've sold out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I
Yeah,
believe.
and yeah, that's the thing. As well, like lots of my family are sold out, my friends who are sold out. Because when I was finding this out, they would they had a plan on how they would reel me back in. They had a plan. They basically kind of they knew that I would always be able to hear them no matter what, even when they whispered through telepathy. They still I would still be able to hear them. So they had a plan of uh, of basically trying to twist the narrative of how life is just a matrix. So when you try kill yourself and then you wake up, something like that, you know, just ploys like that, just to throw me off. And you know, at times I was like, whoa, what's going on? Because obviously, with with this kind of stuff, with this kind of stuff, like it's very easy to go down the wrong path because you know
Yeah,
you conjure up a lot of theories.
right. Yeah, and they have every advantage to lead you into believing something. With every you would have every reason to believe the things that you'll believe because they know what you're thinking and they have this unbelievable technology to be able to conjure up these circumstances to make things seem so believable sometimes when they're not. It really
Yeah.
takes a little bit of time to dissect everything that's going on. Have you had to deal with any psychological agencies or be committed? I know in the beginning, my family thought that I was going crazy. They probably still think so, but,
Yeah.
some of them probably still think so. But there was a time when several members of my family got together and went to like a judge and, you know, asked them if they would legally have me evaluated, and I had to end up going to a place and being psychologically evaluated by force.
Oh right. That's bad. Yeah. Luckily that hasn't happened to me, but there were, you know, you have that few cases like with my parents. 'Cause I still live with my parents, and you know, they actually live broadcast, you know, through the living room. So, and even when I'm going to sleep, like the whole family is just, and I'm literally just in this compactful space in my bedroom. So you know,
Well, let
it's a
me
bit hard to focus.
right. A lot of people. I want to just tell you a few things because I've been going through this for a long time, and I feel like I have a lot of insight in how all of this works, and a lot of people get. I just don't want you to think the wrong thing in case
Oh
it may
yeah,
not be.
no, of
But
course not.
okay, so if you're on remote neural monitoring, and so gang stalkers can talk to you with artificial telepathy, but it's very typical that they will put the
You're
people
100%.
around you on remote neural monitoring, and then they'll be able to use those voices as a setting and do a lot of things to make you believe that other people are involved that may not be involved. And one thing that a good way to know a lot and something that you can try to remember is that people that are if if they're talking to you with artificial telepathy and they know what you're thinking and they can see what you can see, then they're somewhere hidden away with this mind control headset that they wear, and they're
Yeah.
receiving all of this as a broadcast. And so if they've turned on a setting and talk to you like in your parents' voices or some family member, it doesn't necessarily mean that your family is part of it. It could mean that they've also been put on the same system as you and are actually just an unknowing victim, because a lot of people that are put on remote neural monitoring that are not targeted, and they're not going to target people close to you because they're wanting to target you. And if they target the people close to you, that gives you credibility, and you and your people could come together and say, well, this is happening to all of us. So they're not going to do that. They're just going to do it to you. I'm not saying that that you're wrong, because I don't know your situation, but a lot of people think that certain people are involved when in reality, those people are just have been put on remote neural monitoring just like you, and their voices, and a gang stalker can use that against you to lead you in the wrong direction. And that's what they want to do, is lead you in the wrong direction. And 6 months is pretty early on. I've known that this is happening for about 6 years, and it took me a couple of years to really put together how it was all happening, and some of the people that were involved. I mean, I knew the main people who were involved to begin with, but they were kind of close to me. But and there was a time when I thought, my little brother was one of them, and and over time I started to realize, they got my old grandma, broadcast and talking to me, and like, I know better. She's definitely not a gang stalker. So over time, you really start to put it together, and you'll figure out more and more. So I just wanted to give you like a heads up that they can be very deceiving, and they can use other people's voices, and artificial telepathy doesn't have to be a voice. It can be a sound or anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I understand that completely. That's why, in the round about the first 3 months, I put that into consideration. I was like, I cannot be sure unless I see that action, because especially with me, they had to work overtime because I was standing really firm with my belief, and they would have to actively do an action. Like sometimes when I'm walking down the street and I'm meditating, they're technically getting attacked because I'm not letting them into my aura, and they would have to like do an action, and while everyone's walking as normal, they would do like they're acting like they're throwing something at me, and no one's doing nothing, but I'm the only one who sees it and thinks it's weird, but everyone acts like it's normal. So and then obviously that's happened around in my house when I'm going to the toilet. They cough at the same time when I'm about to, when I'm feeling sick because the 5G's getting to me, or like they do like a quick signal, and they're in sync with all the other people who telepath and broadcast. So yeah, I've literally there was, I can give you an example. There was one time where I don't know what they did, but they put something on me. So I was meditating. I flicked it back at my uncle, and then it literally hit him back in the face, and he was like that. And it was in front of like all of the family. That family acted like they didn't see nothing. But then I was just like, oh yeah, so he's part of it as well. So yeah, that's one thing which I ruled out. Sometimes when they're close to you and they try to do it against you, if you're strong enough, you can, and you do nothing, you can literally just deflect it back, and they have to like conjure it back up, and they start panicking. So yeah, unfortunately, in the matter of a month, I found out I have no friends and no true family. I'm all alone in this demonic society, and one day I'm just gonna have to find my way out.
Well, there's thousands of us that are starting to come public about all of these type of things. I would suggest just take your time. That you got it. You got this. Take your time, and don't. personally, when I'm out and about and talking to people, like I talk about this on the internet, but when I'm out and about talking to people, most people that I associate with, they don't even know about all of this, and I don't
Yeah,
go around like public places and the people that I know in social places talking about all of this. I'm taking my time and putting it all
yeah.
together and getting awareness out there. And, you're doing the
Oh
right
yeah.
thing though. Um,
Thanks, man.
well, let
Just
me,
to let you know, they're kind of messing me up with this phone, so it may just die. Yeah,
Okay. Well, let me ask you real
you know how
quick.
they be.
I want to
Yeah,
get off subject a little bit onto the coronavirus, the COVID-19 thing. Um,
yeah,
do you guys have an issue with that there?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, even though a bit of the statistics were inflated, for the most part, a few people are dying, and we
Right.
all know why. It is the radiation coming from the technology, and
Well,
the
it
people
definitely
who
could
are
be like some kind
doing
of
these.
bio
Yeah,
attack or something, but
exactly,
you guys have
exactly.
shut down, like they've shut down everything and
Yeah, yeah, we're literally in a lockdown.
right.
They've literally, like where I work, obviously everyone knows about, targeted individuals. So they made sure that I do not come into work because apparently with me, when I meditate, it stops them from getting their energy. So, makes them weaker because what they're doing is already causing them pain anyways.
Right.
Plus this, it's gonna cause their immune cells to lower down, and yeah, that's basically COVID-19 is nothing but a byproduct of 5G and technology witchcraft, which they've been doing for years and years. You
Yeah,
know, when 1G was introduced, I think was it influenza, and then 2G, it was Spanish influenza, 3G. There was always an outbreak when they increased the generation of technology. So it's not really anything new.
right. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I believe that it definitely has the possibility to be something that has been manufactured rather than just evolved into some disease. But I'm here in
Yeah,
Atlanta, over in the U.S. in Atlanta, Georgia, and we have lockdown, and we don't. I haven't ran into anybody with the virus, and you hear about a few people here and there. Maybe I
yeah,
guess we got some statistics, but in real life, I haven't ran into anybody or seen anything that I believe that it's happening, but I haven't seen it with my own eyes. All I see is that everything's closed down, and that I mean, I have a job that they say is essential, so I've been able to go to work. But most places are
yeah,
closed, and it's been about 6 weeks now. It's unprecedented. I've never seen anything like this before.
yeah. They're all part of the mass media as well. That's the thing. The people they work for control the mass media, so they know what they're doing for the most part. Like
Yeah.
it's been calculated that the real statistics of them dying are the same of the average people who die of the common flu year round.
Right. I
So
read into that, and I
yeah,
saw that it was very similar. Um,
exactly.
they say we have a big outbreak in like New York where like 12,000 people have died and it's like 600 or 700 people a day. But um, who knows? I just know here everything's shut down, and I live in a pretty big city, and
Yeah,
I mean
you're hot shot.
yeah, it's I don't know what to make of it, but so yeah, I guess we could wrap it up.
Yeah.
I,
My
go ahead.
oh well, my finishing statement would be for anyone out there. Oh, sorry, excuse me. For anyone out there, I would say that this is biblical prophecy coming into fruition, and everyone be careful, stay safe. I would definitely uh, push for meditation and sitting your breath with praising to Yahweh. So every time you breathe in with your nose, say praise, and then breathe out, say Yahweh. Um, and yeah, that's definitely a good way to deflect all this bad energy and all the satanic stuff. And yeah, and that's definitely something I would advocate for. And yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. I got Michael in the UK, Mike in the UK, and I'm gonna put the link to his channel in the description. And if you want, I could feature your channel. So I appreciate you coming on, man.
All right. God bless.
We'll talk more soon.
Remember, meditate on Yahweh. Trust me, He will see the results.
All right. Thank you. Take it easy, man.
Right. And you.
Yeah, man.